Hi everybody. Since so many of you were absent today, I thought I'd give you a short run through of what we did today in class. We talked about midpoint and directed segments, so here's a brief run through of the lesson. The first couple problems on this page are just reminding you about how to find the midpoint or questions referring to the midpoint. If AB equals 18 and C is the midpoint of segment AB, what is the length of segment AC? Draw yourself a diagram. You need segment AB, and C is the midpoint, so place C right in the middle. This should be an easy problem because the entire segment length is 18. And we want to know the length of AC. So if these are equal, this is going to be 9. So AC is 9. In the next one, AC is 13. C is the midpoint of AB. Again, we have a similar setup. This time AC is 13. If C is the midpoint, CB is also 13. Oops, gotta get the pen. Which then makes the entire length of AB 26, and that's what we were looking for. The next one is good practice because it involves algebra. Same setup. AB, the full segment. C, the midpoint, right there. AC is x plus 1. Put that in parentheses, it's binomial. AB, the entire segment, 4x minus 6. There you go. And that's all they gave us. They want to know the length of AB, the entire segment length. Well, when it doesn't seem like you have a lot of information, you got to figure they gave me everything I need, and I am capable of doing this. Look for relationships. Remember, these two are the same. So you can write the equation 2 times x plus 1. 2 of those will be equal to the entire segment. Now I'm going to give you a minute, solve that for x, and we'll come back. All right, hopefully you solved and you got x equals 4, but you're not done. Don't select 4 if it's a multiple choice. Remember, I've told you whenever you get an x, you got to plug it back in most cases, and that's true. They wanted the entire length of AB. So AB, if we plug it back in, is actually 10. There's the answer. Let's move to the next page. This page talks about things that we should already know, and remember, we've already learned midpoint of a line segment. Here's the definition. And this is going to go through giving us the formula that we have already learned. If we're given the endpoints of a segment, how to find the midpoint. Midpoint is basically the average of the x's and the average of the y's. x1 plus x2 divided by 2, comma, y1 plus y2 divided by 2. There you go. Average of the x's, average of the y's. At the bottom of the page here we have a couple of practice examples. Let's look at those. If I average -3 and -1, I'd get -4 divided by 2, which is -2. Averaging these two y values, basically adding them, I get -6 divided by 2, -3. Let's try another one. If I come over here, adding these, I'd get 6 divided by 2 is 3. Adding these two, I get 12 divided by 2 is 6. All right. That should be enough review on midpoint. The lesson may be long. I want to make sure we get to the heart of the lesson. Let's go to the next page. This page is where we start doing something a little bit new. We have endpoints A and B given to us, and we have to divide it up into 4 equal pieces, as we see here. And we need to find point C that sits 3/4 of the way along AB, closer to A than B. I'm just going to do a little sketch of a segment to help me out here. If this is B, this is A. Let's get rid of that little piece there. Okay. We need 4 total pieces. Break that in half, and divide that in half. Point C sits 3/4 of the way along AB, but it's closer to A than B. That means that it's going to be right there. That'll be point C. It's 1, 2, 3 out of 4 pieces, but closer to A. So I'm going to mark that as C. First thing I'm going to do now is set myself up with a table, and I'm going to start with the very first ordered pair, 3, negative 5. That's right here. I'm going to need 1, 2, 3, 4 more ordered pairs to make sure that I end up at this ordered pair. And if I do, then I will be confident that I have the answer. Let me get rid of that string mark. Oh well. I will be confident that I have the answer right here. Okay, what we need to do is find out how far apart 19 and 3 are. So we just subtract them and take the absolute value. 19 minus 3 is 16. And we have to divide 16 up into 4 equal pieces. So that means 4. So that's telling us that each one of these increases by 4 along the x-axis. And we know it increases because we're going from 3 to 19. It's increasing. So I'm going to set myself up for the next ordered pairs. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Remember, for 4 segments, I need 5 ordered pairs. So I take 3, I'm going to add 4, which is 7. Add 4, 11. Add 4, I get 15. Add 4 more, and I get 19, and that's exactly where I needed to be. Now let's take care of the y's. I need to find the difference between 5 and negative 1, negative 5 and negative 1. So I'm going to need some absolute value here. Negative 5 minus negative 1. Watch your signs. That's actually going to give you a difference of 4. Divide that into 4 equal segments, equals 1. So that means that each one of these segments increases by 1 on the y-axis. I'm going to now take the y values, starting from here, and increase it by 1. I know it's increasing because it goes from negative 5 to negative 1. So negative 5 plus 1 is negative 4. Plus 1 is negative 3. Plus 1 is negative 2. Plus 1 is negative 1. And as we can see, we did end up at 19, negative 1. So we're done. And now we need to highlight point C, 3/4 of the way along AB closer to A. Well, if this is A, and we needed the point right next to it, this is going to be C. Let's do another one. Down here, let's move the page up a little bit. We have 0, 1 for A. Let's start here. 0, 1 is my first ordered pair. We need to find C, which sits 1/3 of the way along B closer to A than C. 1/3 means 1 out of 3 total pieces. So remember, if I have 3 pieces, I'm going to need 4 ordered pairs. It's 2, 3, 4. That's because we start here. That's 1, 2, 3. This being A, and this being B. C is 1/3 of the way closer to A, so that's going to be C. Now we take the difference. 9 minus 0 is 9, divided by 3 equal segments, total of 3, gives me 3. So I'm going to be adding 3 to the x values. 0 plus 3, 3 plus 3, and 6 plus 3. And look, I landed where I needed, at 9. Let's figure the y's. 1 minus negative 8 is 9. That's 1 minus negative 8 is 9. The distance between the y values is 9. You can divide that up into 3 equal places, and you get 3. But we have to notice something here. The y values go from 1 to negative 8. So we actually have to subtract 3 because we're moving in the negative direction along the y-axis. So to go from a positive to negative, we need to subtract. So we're actually going to be subtracting 3 to each one of our y values. It's going to be 1 minus 3, minus 3, minus 3. Let's see how that turns out. 1 minus 3 is negative 2. Minus 3 is negative 5. Minus 3 is negative 8. And that's exactly what we needed, because if you look at the endpoint B, it's 9, negative 8, 9, negative 8. And we have found C right here. Next page. I'm going to get us to, I'm going to look at a different example. Let's look at number 7. We're not going to do it because I want to get to 8, which is a little more challenging. But starting with 7, it's worded a little differently. We have given points A and B, find the coordinates of C, that it divides the segment into 1, 2, 3. That's different from 1 out of 3. That means we're actually going to need a total between these two of 4 segments, 4 equal segments. So if I have A here, negative 3, negative 2, remember if we need 4 segments, that translates into 5 points. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And your 5th one should be the 1/6. Let's move down to 8 though, because that's a little different with the numbers it poses. Move this up. We have A at 0, 2. I'm going to put A here, 0, 2. And look at how many segments we need this time. I'm going to let you take a look here. We're dividing it into 5 to 7. C is going to be the 5th compared to 7. So that means actually we need a total of 12 equal segments. 12 parts. 12 equal parts. Now we're going to make a really long table. Remember, 12 segments means 13 points. So I would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm not even sure I'm going to have enough room. 10. Move it up. 11, 12, and 13. It's going to be a long one. Let's go back. So let's do the usual. Oh, these guys didn't move. Well, hang on. Let's see if I can erase that. I'm going to erase. Okay, well, let me erase these guys. Well, we're not going to worry about them for now. Let's worry about the top. We're going to find the difference here. 2 minus 0 is 2 for the x's. Let's figure the x's out. The distance or difference of 2 divided by 12 equal segments, which will equal 1/6. And I see that we're going from 0 to 2, so we're increasing. That means we're going to be adding 1/6 to each x. Don't worry about it. We have a calculator that can do that for us. For the y's, we have a difference of 6 minus 2, which is 4. Divide that by 12. That reduces to 1/3. And we're going from 2 to 6. We're increasing. That means we will be adding 1/3 to each y value. You can use your calculator, or you can just increase on your own. But let's just see for a minute where point C would be. Divides it into 5 to 7. And they're not specifying closer to A or closer to B. So if this is the first point, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces. So that means C is going to be right here. I'm going to mark that. Or I'm going to put a circle around it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That was right here. That's going to be C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right there. So if we start adding 0 plus 1/6, we're going to get 1/6 plus 1/6. Just keep adding. That wasn't bad. Didn't need a calculator for that. And 2, we add 2 1/3. 2 2/3. Sorry, it's so messy, guys. 2 plus 3/3 would be 3. 3 1/3. 3 2/3. Well, you could continue to keep making sure you would get the right values. You would be adding 7 more of these. So you could actually add to make sure you get the value that you need. 7 plus 5, if I take this value here, right here, I would have, this is the, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or actually really it's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th segment. I have 7 more segments to go. So if I added 7 more of these, I would have 5 6 plus 7 6, and I end up with 12 6, which is 2. So that's going to give me 2 in the x. Now to figure out the y, I have 3 2/3 plus, I need to add 7 more of these, 7/3. So that's going to be 3 plus 9/3, which is 3 plus 3 essentially, or 6. So now that tells me that I would have ended up with this as my last order pair, which is B. So I'm confident that I ended up with the right answer. Hopefully that helps. Good luck, and I'll see you all in class. You're careful, for instance, in this problem here, A is going from 2 to 10, you're adding. -1 to 7, you're adding. 5 to -5, you're actually going to be subtracting. -4 to 1, you're adding. Is there more? Let's see. -8 to 2, you're adding. -3 to 2, and most of these you're going to end up adding. I hope that helps. Good luck, and text me if you need more help. Bye.